You reap what you sow. Seeing the world today so entangled with so many different problems, needing a respite and finding none, kind of makes you wonder, how do we get ourselves into this mess? You must admit, God is not trying to make it easy for us. He's letting us step in every puddle as we move forward in life. So, how exactly did we get here? The answer reads like an ancient novel. It all started once upon a time in a land far, far away. God decided it was not good to be alone. So he created men and women and placed them in a Garden of Eden. And after he had taught them all they needed to know to survive and to be prosperous, he thought to himself, "What I have created is good." And his parting words to mankind were, "I give you paradise if you can keep it." With that, he departed, never to be seen by mankind again. After that, all hell broke loose. Man, you see, turned out to be a selfish little prick, caring only for himself and not including all men, and from there, the world began to take shape. Over here, you had the haves, and over there, you had the have-nots. And that's how we got to where we are today. How many times have you heard someone say, "I am not responsible for that. I wasn't even born when that happened," never stopping to realize that even though they weren't born when that happened, they are nonetheless still reaping the benefits from what occurred. And even today, it continues to provide them with benefits they did not earn. It's like you didn't rob the bank, but you are still prospering from stolen money. So let me break it down this way. We don't know how the world would have turned out hadn't the Europeans developed weapons of mass destruction. But we do know when they learned to navigate across the oceans, they used those large ships to rob and steal. And when they mastered the use of metals, they used that knowledge to organize military forces that were hundreds of years more advanced than the spear-throwing people that they were conquering. And lastly, their development of guns and bombs quickly elevated them to the top of the food chain, where they became superior over all others. The world then was theirs, so what would they do with it? What they did was make a mess of it. There aren't any people on this planet that hasn't been affected by their actions one way or the other. And they broke every known criminal law that was then known to have existed. And still they did more. But the worst crime that they have ever committed was that of being arrogant, which later morphed into racism. Think about it. Everywhere in the world today where there is turmoil, if you trace it back, the seeds for what they are experiencing today started when the Europeans landed on their shores. We don't have to like it, but we can't change what's true. What we today call illegal immigration first started when we invaded the countries of people of color, where we not only robbed them of vital resources, but we stole their pride and also took their property. And in the case of black people, we enslaved them for over 200 years. I want to put a good spin on this, but I don't see how I can. I mean, not only can't we acknowledge what actually occurred in the world, but we won't even try to make amends for it, like it wasn't our fault what was done in the name of our countries. So I guess you know why this is entitled, "You Reap What You Sow." And the only thing that's going to make it better is when we start to acknowledge what we did, and if it takes us the rest of our lives, we need to do all we can to make it right again. Because trying to pretend like we don't have anything to do with what's happening is not working for us. Oh yeah, we can keep trying to ignore it, but please believe me, there is a God, and our lives will only become more miserable until we man up and do the right thing. And believe it or not, we too would benefit. After all, you always feel better once you are able to clear your conscience. Nevertheless, you and I know we're not going to do the right thing, at least not for a long, long time. And if we're really, really honest with ourselves, we also know the day is coming when this house of cards that we built is going to start falling down on us. And we will reap what we sow. Thank you. My name is Joseph Sullers.